What's going on, guys? It's David, and today we're going to be asking the question, should you buy the M2 MacBook Air? Let's find out. So the M2 MacBook Air, this is the entry-level MacBook Air. We have the base model in the midnight colorway right in my hands right now. And I can't say that I don't like the form factor. It's super thin and it just seems like it works for the everyday person. Now, with me being a content creator, you might ask the question, is this powerful enough to edit simple videos and edit some photos and do other things a little bit more higher than, just your regular answering emails and etc. Honestly, yes, you can get away with using this, but there are some limitations. Now, this model specifically has an 8-core GPU, an 8-core CPU, 6 gigabytes of RAM, and a 256 gigabyte SSD inside of it. With that being said, it is the base model M2 MacBook Air you can get for $1,100 at the time of this recording. Now let's just talk about the outside of the laptop, including the ports and what I think about this colorway. Starting out the ports, on the left side of the laptop, we have a MagSafe charger and 2 USB-Cs. That is pretty clutch. I can't lie, I am a fan of the MagSafe. I do have the M1 MacBook Pro as well, and it has MagSafe. And I can't lie, having that extra port instead of using a USB-C port like previous years is super clutch. We know how Apple can get a little bit stingy with the ports. And I will say they're a little bit stingy with this one because those are the only 2 USB-C ports you get. Because on the right side, you only have an aux port for headphones and other devices audio-wise. I will say you're kind of limited there compared to the M1 MacBook Pro, but you can't expect too much for this price range. It's still a solid little setup, and there's the dongles everywhere on Amazon or even Apple. So now let's go ahead and open up the laptop, and as we're doing that, you can see one of my favorite features as well, being able to open it up with one finger like that. It's just one of those little things that Apple knows, it's beautiful. It's good. It's good. All right, coming back to the computer, the display is a 13.6-inch liquid retina display with True Tone, which basically means that whatever you're looking at is going to be nice and crispy and super well saturated. So I know a lot of people are going to be using this for Zoom, Google Meets, and maybe even FaceTime, and you can easily do that with this laptop. It comes with a 1080p HD camera, which obviously isn't going to be the best quality, but it's more than enough for situations like that. Now, again, a lot of people are upset about the notch on the computer itself. The phone has a notch, the computer has a notch. Everything these days is having a notch or an island. I'm honestly okay with it because within the taskbar, it kind of gets hidden in some of the apps that are used within Safari and things like that. So the notch for me really isn't that big of a deal, but I know some people are super annoyed with it. It is kind of annoying, but all the other positives definitely outweigh the whole notch situation. Now the keyboard is super solid for me. It's definitely not, a mechanical keyboard by any means, not a gaming, but it just has a good feel to it, and it's pretty solid for most workflows out there. Another thing to add with the keyboard is at the top right, we have the Touch ID. Just another one of those things that makes it a little bit more convenient when opening up the laptop and getting straight into your workflow. A lot of the competition has this already, so this isn't something too special, but it's pretty nice. Now moving down to the trackpad, again, nothing too crazy about it. It works well, it does what it needs to do, and honestly, it's one of the better ones within the price range. As far as the actual touch of it and the feedback you get from using it. Now that the specs and all that good stuff is out of the way, my overall opinion on it is that it's a solid laptop for the price range. Honestly, again, the Apple silicone is just insane. You can't do too much multitasking on it. That's one of the only things is when you go into a budget laptop, so you can't have multiple tabs open doing a whole bunch of different things. If you stick to one certain app, it does pretty well. So editing, whether it be video or photos, as long as you're not going too crazy or going, into After Effects. I wouldn't recommend this if you're doing After Effects stuff, but if you needed to in a pinch, I'm pretty sure you can get through it. Just might take a lot of rendering and stuff like that. I'm speaking from a content creator standpoint, just because that's, what I really know. But if you're interested in this laptop and you have a smaller budget, I'd say go ahead and get it, especially if you're doing content creating. I know a lot of people are saying that the M1 MacBook Air is just as good for a little bit less, and I can't disagree too much on that. There's very little features that are different, but it's up to you. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you gonna go for the M2 MacBook Air, or would you just go for the M1? Peace.